You know, Samael turned up, was fighting early on, but I think Fear is the main one. He went for the, what was it, 4-3-0 build on ET.
When I saw he had 4-2 and then he got started maxing Aura. So he had 4-2-4 at one point.
4-2-4, okay. But maxing the stomp there, you know, we talked earlier before the game started about how ET strength is hard to notice because natural order was the skill people were kind of exploiting a little bit. But he went for this very active build, but not only did he go for that max sleep, but he was using the Astral to scout out, and Astral Spirit, 400 vision, you know, a lot of vision skills have been nerfed a lot, Hawks and Track and Slaughter amp damage, but the ability for Fear to actually scout into jungle, find targets, and allow him to gank bot lane a lot and find Yoko a fair amount was pretty good.
Yeah, Fear he was...
Hold on a second, the draft is ready, so we're going to get the draft. It is fast, but, I know, take this by surprise a little bit. Do carry on though, God, sorry.
Yeah, Fear's ET was on point, and you can see why it was justified in being picked up the first stage. The Roche fight was where it really shined. It just delayed that Roche so much, and eventually when VP, they take Roche, but they lose their entire team to so.
I love the Disruptor ban.
Yep.
Respect where respect is due.
And importantly to note is EG first pick, so I expect a Lion first pick.
Yeah, I almost think that's a really lovely piece of respect. That almost gives Virtus.Pro a bit more confidence. They almost sit there going, oh, thanks very much. We're honoured by your ban. We're honoured by your ban.
It's a compliment, but it shows PPD has a plan to adapt. Where he's going to ban Disruptor, and I want to say first pick Lion. Even if top tier heroes like Beastmaster left in the pool, he may just want to deny those key catch controlling supports.
What it does do potentially is throw the bounty. It doesn't throw the bounty out because the bounty is what gets banned. So yeah, we are going to go standard.
But they will still get Lion for Aloha Dance most likely.
So yeah, because Beastmaster was a hero that they banned out last game next to the Enchantress. So other than that, the bans are the same. With Lion still in the pool, which was picked up first by Virtus.Pro last game together with the Puck.
Key thing with Virtus.Pro is they may be less like they could still pick the line, but it's on the dire side. You often want to pick up those supports like Venge, which are good at taking Roche, and that's something that EG probably recognize. They're on dire side. If they get a Lion plus like an offlaner or a Lion plus another core hero, then we can ban the Venge and make it harder for VP to control the Roche.
I was gonna say, since they are on the dire side, I would say one of the first two picks maybe should be Venge, because they do run it in two positions, so you don't give that away, and pick something, some nice.
Venge Void or something like that. Well, Venge Bat actually is pretty good opener for dire side.
Would be a really nice opening for them to have. But then again, you don't get the Lion, so you don't really
get the Venge with the Lion.
Go for the double threat.
Oh, they do still get the Lion, so.
And go for the starter.
Still the minus armor for the Roshan there as well, though.
I'm going to show AUI how to do it.
And that's the thing. You pick the Lion in the first stage. Is that kind of just control utility support. You likely won't get access to the Venge as well, so you make sure you have the Slaughter for the Roche taking capabilities.
10 seconds remaining.
What I really liked about previous game, the draft from Virtus.Pro, was that every time they could take a fight, and they won a fight, they could take buildings off the back of it, which made them able to push real hard. Obviously, that's what the Drow Aura does, but I would like to see them go for something like that, or at least have a hero that can help them do the same, because I feel like that was what Evil Geniuses lacked. When they won a fight, they couldn't really push off the back of it.
One of the big things that EG lacks as well is a little bit of draft diversity. You know, EG have always been lacking in that Wisp Chen area, so that's something the VP come into this draft always knowing that, right, we don't have to ban it, we always have the option to pick it as well. So they've very rarely played Wisp, and I think PPD has played Chen. You know, we can probably count on one hand how many times he's played Chen in the past year.
Once or twice.
Yeah, but again, it's probably on one hand.
It was very,
very rare occurrence.
Yeah.
But similarly, I feel those are not really VP heroes. They ran the Chen earlier on, but that's not like an occasional pick for No Fear. It's not their bread and butter by any means. But, I mean, as far as Bulba hero goes, Beastmaster, you could argue his Darkseer is good, but I think Beastmaster right now is his best hero.
Yeah.
Some respect bans coming out, or just heroes that were annoying to deal with previous game. FNG's Puck, really strong, and of course the Elder Titan. Fear. So Fear actually still has the option of going on Beastmaster this game. This might be a curveball that EG throws. Previous game we saw them picking up the Elder Titan basically straight away, so already giving away that they were gonna put Fear on that one.
Yeah, that's a good point to make, because if they see VP get like a jungler for No Fear, that's where EG are likely to rotate Beastmaster into the jungle themselves, so they can be a bit greedier. But if they pick up something like an Earth Spirit, then they're probably saying, well, we need to have two good lane press supports. I wonder if we'll see an Earth Spirit. I mean, both Fear and No Fear both play fantastic Earth Spirits, so
It's actually funny to think about, isn't it?
Fear
Would
versus
you rather
no
have
fear.
fear or
versus-
no fear?
I'd rather have no fear on Earth Spirit.
Why?
Just historically, it's been one of his heroes. Like Fear has played it when he's needed to, but it's not been like a signature hero for him. Whereas
So no
no
fear more
fear has,
comfortable?
yeah.
In terms of playstyle though, they're kind of the same. They both aggressive on it. Aggressive on it. Try to disrupt mid a lot. I think hampers to Sumail more than G. I feel like G always knows how to deal with it or able to come back.
Yeah, he's shown it today.
Yeah.
Especially, and
How's the Venge?
they've left the Venge in the pool, yeah. So now you've got Venge with Slaughter, tons of minus armor, easy access to Roche. The Venge is flexible, and that could be the support or the core Venge.
It could be offlane Slaughter and safe lane Slaughter as well.
And you see this, and you're probably less inclined to run a jungle Beastmaster because this is very aggressive in the laning stage from Virtus.Pro.
If you know that Virtus.Pro has this Roche lineup already, if you are evil geniuses, are you gonna try to pick teamfight to counter Roche in terms of fights, or will you just let it slide and deal with it a different way?
I think if you want to counter Roche, you want to have like another pushing hero, because taking map control is going to be what prevents VP having easy access. Like if you can push down all the outer towers in the early stage of the game, suddenly taking Roche gets very difficult for VP. So maybe they go for something like the Drow Ranger strat. Not that it's something not really that EG have shown, but it's definitely a possibility. And then the team fight you mentioned is the other way. But here's Sven. So look at minus armor. Well, here's a hero which gives his entire team a bunch of plus armor. So
how big of a fan are you of the second pick Bane? Because the more I think about it, the less I like it. The fact that it kind of fills the role of, a saving hero such as Dazzle that maybe you want to go for later in the draft. And then against heroes like Vengeful Spirit, Lion, Slaughter, all these stuns coming through, your Fiend's Grip is negated quite heavily. Offers a lot in laning stage, but mid-game, I guess it's just another setup hero for the Beastmaster to roam with, and then have the utility mobility from Sumail to come in.
Yeah, it's always been a very team-specific support hero. The teams who have that
Go Black
support,
or PPD.
Yeah, they really like it. Misery in the past as well, big Bane player, but then the teams who don't play it will just never pick it. And I think for the most part, it's a very niche pick in the sense that without that player who's comfortable in the hero, you're not going to get much value out of it. Like the Lion, any team can just fit in the Lion in the first stage pick and you know what you're going to get. Same for a Disruptor. For Bane, it's a bit more, you need that support player who's comfortable in the hero, knows how to move around the map, get value out of it in the early game as far as harassing mid, and PPD is kind of that player. But I think if it was not for the fact that you were like PPD or Go Black, then you definitely don't want to be first stage picking Bane. I think the key thing with Bane is that you're picking a support in the early stage. You don't want to. We're seeing cores save for the 4th and 5th slot more and more. So
that's the thing. Like, why the Bane and why not the Vengeful Spirit? Block it from VP and take it yourself, and then you're safe from like a Batrider pick. You've got the saving hero.
Venge not the best laning support, perhaps. Like the Bane is better at zoning,
trading hits and zoning. Yeah.
The Lion is the one you'd maybe prefer over the Bane. And Batrider. So FNG will be playing Bat in the offlane, I can only imagine. Haven't seen G play Bat at all.
Out of those 4 heroes from VP, they've got 3 which we all wanted, basically.
Yep.
There's still plenty in the pool though as well of the popular picks that we've seen in the last 3 days.
I think for EG is they're going to be playing very kind of farm-centric with this Sven. That's always the case when you get this hero. You want to make sure you don't get beaten in the early game, so you can stack Ancients, get that Helm of the Dominator, and just play Sven. He's kind of similar to an Alchemist in that fashion, where you're just hoping to not lose your lane so that you can become this farming machine, and then dominate kind of the later stages of the game, which is something VP have a great lineup to punish right now.
I really like that Virtus.Pro have last pick. I think that is such a good thing for G to have. He can dominate mid lanes so heavily if he has a favorable matchup. Now that they know they're going to be up against an Invoker, I was actually thinking maybe it is time for the G Templar Assassin again. We saw that actually yesterday and it didn't work out. What would you think about the lineup about that pick right now?
It's good in lane against the Invoker with the Sideblade splash out, and of course you've got a lot of catch here from VP, but against Boar and from Beastmaster and the Fiend's Grip from Bane, it's super annoying to get kited as TA.
Yeah. Okay, but
Synergize
now
as well with all the minus armor for sure.
Yeah.
Evil geniuses turn to bad.
Yeah, TA definitely works for VP.
I mean, there's multiple options available still, right?
I like that EG 4th pick Invoker. There's no point saving your mid for 5th pick saying, oh, we want to save it for last, because either way, the last pick is going to be P, so they get to counter the mid hero regardless. So if anything, you want to secure your preferred mid for Sumail and not risk it getting banned. So they decide the Exort Invoker is going to combo well with this Nightmare setup, the Raw setup, the Sven Sun. You've got tons of setup for the Sunstrike. And well,
why not the G Tinker again? Well, there's a TA ban, Shiva.
Yep. So what do we go with now?
Tinker doesn't. I mean, it's good. It doesn't provide physical damage to combine with all the minus armor of Slider and Venge, but the vision from the Slider is good because it sets up the heat.
And the Bat Rider as well, Firefly.
Yep. You've got good burst damage to follow up the Bat with.
And you can get these numbers into a team fight very quickly with Blink Slider, Blink Lion, Bat Rider, Blink Force.
There's Beastmaster vs Tinker can be a bit rough because he's always going to get vision of you wherever you are.
Okay. Another first for the
so this is something similar to what they run a couple of months ago, 3-4 months ago, was when they had a Lone Druid Invoker Abaddon. This time the Sven takes the role of the Lone Druid, where you're basically pumping him with steroids, right? You've got Inner Beast, a Photic Shield, Alacrity, and he's going to be your one hero up in the front line just slamming people left and right.
Alchemist last pick, which we would say was probably the right pick at the time.
Yes. Yeah. Seems there's good damage to try and burst him down, but you've got good defensive heroes. You've got the Venge to swap to save him. You're going to be the team that's 4 heroes that can kind of control the pace of the game and create space for Alchemist.
Okay, very quickly, 5 seconds. Shiva, which way?
B.
I'm not backing down, it's VP.
Okay. I've seen him surprise me 3 games in a row. I'm going to swing. VP, you know, at this point, I can't down him.
It's a clean sweep here on the desk. They finally come around to my way of thinking. All 3 of them are going for Virtus.Pro. What do Odie, Pixel, and Capitalist think?
Thanks very much, Red, and indeed, looking into Game 2 now, VP versus EG. What a performance from VP in Game 1, indeed taking it, Cap. And look at this, coming through, we're seeing some kind of classics, the Sumail Invoker breaking through the cracks, a little bit of a weird one, a different one, the Abaddon for PPD, not something that every team likes to run, but something that EG do like to dabble with. And over on the side of VP, I'm going to be interested to see how the G Alchemist goes on, because obviously earlier today, we saw G's Alchemist get absolutely dismantled by RTZ's DK in the mid lane, so it'll be interesting to see how OG does against Sumail's Invoker.
Yeah, I really like the Abaddon here. I think this is a really smart pickup from Evil Geniuses. You can stop the Bat Rider lasso, you can get rid of amplified damage, and that's obviously a very core component of running this Sword Art carry, is the fact that he makes it so everybody's physical damage is able to do large amounts to the enemy team. So being able to take away those certain things, the Hex as well from the Lion, I think that this last pick may actually just win Evil Geniuses the game, but I'm not sure. VP definitely, in some ways, have a relatively easy lineup to execute, and the fact that they're going to be looking for some pickoffs and play off the Alchemist's farm. Evil Geniuses, they're a little bit more timing focused, I think, with the Sven. Like, it's still going to be a farm game for him, but they want to get it to a point where the Sven becomes this unstoppable force, where even if he's slightly behind the Alchemist or something, his farm is worth so much more than it is on the Alchemist, and he just controls the game, and they start limiting VP's map control. But I don't know, the Sumail Invoker, it's always a favorite, so.
Absolutely not ready. Well, bottom lane. Well, see just a bit of harassment down onto FNG. He's got the napalm to try and hold them back. PPD is going to come in and start giving him a wallop. He has got the point in the passive here, so the chase down is going to be real. Not quite going to be strong enough to beat him all the way down, but nonetheless forcing FNG to back off and out of the lane. And this is a man without a salve. He's only got the 3 tangos on him as well here on the bat, so already suffering here on the bottom lane for FNG.
Iceberg likes to give these supports the level 1 value buff. You had the Rubik with his passive getting buffed up a nice little bit at level 1, the Abaddon as well, and you saw the value of it there. Curse of Avernus being able to get them some extra shots on FNG and burn through his regen that much faster. But now Fear's going to be heading into the mid lane because, well, Fear and the antithesis No Fear, both supports trying to match each other in mid.
It's certainly needed at the moment because G, he's having the slight edge here somehow. He'll catch up with this wave. But nonetheless, the Alk versus the Invoker matchup going pretty well here for G. The fact that he's not losing out as hard as he potentially could be. Top lane, the lane we haven't really spoken about, but Boba on his Beastmaster, laning up against Yoku and Aloha Dance. I mean, Boba, surely he's got to be very careful because the amount of lockdown between these two, there's certainly killing potential from VP.
Yeah, it's a dangerous lane, but at the same time, the funny thing is, Owen, they nerfed it up a bit, but it's still the fact that the board movement speed slow almost offsets the sprint gained movement speed. That's pretty nasty. It used to be like almost 1-for-1 1, and that was actually just disgusting that Boris could do something like that. But now it's like, if he gets it to level 3, he'll have a 20% slow, and Yoku is probably operating on a level 1 sprint at that point. That's still actually offsetting that advantage. So it's a lane that can be dangerous, but I think Beastmaster still does relatively well.
It's interesting as well to watch the movements here from EG. Of course, we did just see Fear hanging around the mid lane for a little bit, but he's now returned back to the bottom lane. They really want to do their best at zoning out FNG. I mean, poor FNG. It's a similar kind of story into game 1 where he's on this off lane and he is just unable to find anything at all at this moment of time. Just kind of the level 2 hit before the 3-minute mark. He's only managed to find himself 1 CS and hasn't really been able to do anything at all in terms of slowing down Aui's farm on the Sven, who currently sits at the top of the CS board. Back towards the mid lane, the matchup. G still here with a slight edge. A couple of points in acid sprays. Constantly got this backup, this presence of No Fear on the Vengeful Spirit, so making it very hard for Sumail to control the lane fully. Top lane Bulba, again, he's having a similarly tough time to FNG, but he's got the slight edge in XP and has got a few more CS. So FNG's bad, just the one that's having a hard time on the bottom.
The mid lane rotation by No Fear, I really like, because I think it serves almost a duo purpose. Are they going to go in? Yeah, it looks like they're going to try and kill FNG here.
Yeah, with the shield on Aoi as well. If that's going to pop, it's going to kill, and it certainly will. PPD with the first blood. As you said, just the amount of dive potential they have with this aquatic shield. Level 2, it's absolutely, it just crushes the Batrider if he gets caught out by the stun from the Sven, or indeed in that case by the setup from Fizz Nightmare.
Yeah, what they really want to be able to do is, like No Fear was helping secure the Alchemist's farm, and if he also forces the rotation of the Bane in the process, this allows Batrider to be matched up against a melee support. He's not very easily going to be zoned out by that. But you see that they actually put the full tri-lane against FNG right at the perfect time, where this gigantic creep wave is going to go into the tower, and they kill him. They actually stop so much progression of FNG levels.
They might just get Bulba here with the crush. Bulba in a lot of trouble. Hex to follow through Yoku. A couple more slaps will do it, and indeed they'll find the kill. Nice control there from VP, as we talked about. They've got a lot of lockdown, and Bulba getting punished heavily.
That was kind of like the oh, they're going to go on FNG again. Fear had an Invis rune, but they're going to set this one up.
They've got the same situation. They do have a shield. FNG gets the Firefly off. Could he get himself out to safety? There's a brain sap. Won't quite be enough nuke damage. FNG, he'll keep flapping. In fact, looks for the deny here, but in fact, he has to change his mind. Oh, that shield! Ooh, FNG! Getting caught out there. I mean, he's got to look to deny himself with this amount of health. Oh, there's actually no creeps. Oh, FNG. In a bit of a spot of bother. He's going to continue to walk on into the same time in the mid lane. Sumail actually picking up a kill. No Fear coming in with a magic missile. Can they turn it? No, he can't on his own. FNG still looking for someone to kill him. Finally has found his destiny, and will suicide there to the neutral. So gets himself out, but nice play here from EG, of course, and the fact that Sumail gets himself that solo kill on the out.
While the Batrider is missing, though, Evil Geniuses are going to be able to put a lot of pressure on this tier 1. Unfortunately, AUI did have the creep wave pulled into the opposing creep wave, which kind of slows down the damage, but because of the high levels in cleave, he's still going to kill that creep wave pretty quickly and get a lot of chip damage on that tier 1, and that's something that just creates a lot of space for Sven. It speeds up his progression. If they can get that quick tower, it means a faster...
Oh, that's stun mid low on. I was catching Sumail just on the tip. No Fear coming through as well, but the reaction from EG is big. With the tornado, Aloha Nuts is going to full cold snap onto GEG, looking for the reaction play, and they're going to find it. Double kill for Sumail. Absolutely expertly done there from Fear and Bulba, coming in to back up what looks to be a very nice smoke from VP as they caught Sumail on the tip of that stun. And at the same time, PPD is just going to suicide himself. Looks like he was wanting a quick trip back to base, but yeah, great play for EG there in the mid lane.
Yeah, great rotation timing, especially Bulba, like having the early Iron Talon and spending some time jungling near the mid lane can be hugely profitable if they go for the dive. And we saw this earlier from Newbie's move, the way they played their Invoker with the Quaswex. Quaswex Invoker has incredibly high turnaround potential. And when you go for those kind of games, you have to make 100% sure that it's going to be successful, because on your way out, if you don't manage to kill the Invoker, you're going to get tornadoed, you're going to get cold snaps, you might even be EMP'd, and there goes some of your combat abilities as well, as your mana gets burned out, and you're just naturally going to be run over by whatever opposing supports TP in to support the Invoker. So VP got to stop making those kind of risks, I think.
Look at this as well. G felt safe farming in the jungle over the setup. Nightmare Sumail's rotated through as well with the cold snap down. They should be able to do this. Tornado onto G. PPD, no escape here for the Alchemist. He'll go down. Can they find anything in return? No fear and a lower dance coming through, but PPD, he's coming deep here with the side of EG. EMP down, so VP, they've got to run Yoku. Looking to go back in with the Amplify out and chase this one down. Looking for Sumail. Actually, the Firefly from FNG could be enough there. One more touch and the Invoker will be gone. They'll find it. Look at the kill onto Invoker. Yoku looking to chase down for more. Nice stun from a low hard dance. Catching PPD on the tip. PPD still continuing to run and they'll continue to try and chase with the napalm, but FNG runs out of the direction of Firefly and he himself has to back up. So at least they find Sumail in return there, but EG with that aggressive play to hunt down and kill G on his Alchemist.
Yeah, in the end, if you're trading 1-for-1 on your mids, that's going to be slightly favorable, I think, for VP, just because the position that they are already in with Sumail winning. But the side effect was that the two side lanes, they just got so much time and to be able to push out the lanes and farm. You saw AUI pushing well into the tier 2 tower, but PPD finally going to get caught and put down instead.
We can see if Sumail can find anything in return. Fear is about. I'm not FNG, Sumail. See what he goes for at the same time. There's a roll from Boba looking to pick up a lower dance here with the boars. G coming in to try and turn around. And FNG gets himself up with a Firefly. Lose the low hard dance. Now G, Yoku, no fear, eyes onto Boba. They want to punish the Beastmaster with the Amplifier down. They've got a good shot at it. Sumail is there as well, and it looks like, and the chase is just not quite good enough here. They're just not quick enough. Maybe with a slow out they can get Bulba, but no, he's fine. He's got the back of a PPD, and with the shield, it's going to be EG going back in. EMP down, no fear. He gets taken. So we could see that VP desperately wanting to fight, but each and every time EG just back off and then move back in, and ending up with the trade going their way again, EG.
Yeah, again, Virtus.Pro, they're taking some fights that they're not reading quite well enough. They're not fights that they can guaranteed wins, and that there's always going to be the turnaround potential with the Invoker and even the Beastmaster with the Boar and certain things like that. Once you turn around and try and escape, you're just naturally going to be slowed down, and somebody's going to get picked off like that. They're also just destroying G. Like, he's not getting enough farm. He's being pushed away from his neutral stacks. I don't think they're going to be able to take it, but just slowing G's progression down is good enough.
I can see VP really coming in nice. Nightmare from Fear, holding back Yoku as he looked for the Slithering Crush. He's still going to move in at the same time. Sumail, a PPD, eyes onto a low hard dance with a miscon. Not quite enough. He'll put the Fairy Fire. He will live, and now VP coming back into the full force. They will now lose Lion. Sumail was able to find the final touch here. The question is VP again. This time, can they actually punish EG's play? PPD coming in. He's going to look for the deny. Can't quite get it. Push from Yoku seals the deal. Here, Aoi and Bulba have actually done the full engagement now with the God Strength. They're ready to go raw. Setting up onto G. Still Yoku and FNG frantically chasing Sumail on the back lines. In with the lasso. Can they actually take it down? No, Sumail gets the tornado. Aoi comes in. Stormball onto Yoku. And EG again, they just seem to be too tough for the side of VP to fight back into. It's a nice step from Aloha. They need to get themselves back in, and they will get Sumail on his Invoker. Magic Missile onto Aoi Finger. Finishes off Bulba. Now VP. Can they come back and find this cleanup? Aoi's got the shield up. Still VP chasing. No fair. Again, they just don't have the control for Aoi. And there's a lot of kills happening. This time it is a slight gold advantage for the side of VP, but it's very, very scrappy from both sides here, and it's all going off in the dire jungle.
Yeah, it doesn't really include, like, you're right in the fact that it's a slight gold advantage, because you look at it, it's just like, oh, 1,300 for VP, that sounds nice, but at the same time, the stacks were taken. Ultimately, though, it was a good fight for Virtus.Pro. Evil Geniuses maybe just overextended themselves a bit too much. That was kind of an awkward engagement, and the drawn-out nature of it actually played against them, because low death timers, obviously, with the tier 1 tower still at mid, you're going to have way too many heroes from VP being able to be a part of that team fight, even if they died in the beginning. So Evil Geniuses, it's the right idea, is getting aggressive and that sort of thing, and it worked out the first couple times, but got to be careful. I think they aren't going to make that kind of excursion again. I think they're now going to focus more on putting pressure on the side lanes. They've done enough, I think, to slow down G's farm.
PPE walking up. No fear. He's got eyes on him. We can see little lines being drawn on the map here. Trying to get VP to make a maneuver, but EG, they should find the space to finish this one up off the top. Still mid lane. VP and lower dance. Maybe wonder if he can try and get a lead in onto Aoi. It's going to be hard though if he doesn't. And he won't for the timing. Sumail and PPD very much in the neighborhood, ready to fight alongside. PPD coming up. Gets the D ward here, and VP. Kind of wondering what the next bit of next move is going to be here from the side. What's the next play here really for VP? Do they just need to sit back and let G farm?
They do, but they still need to try and be aggressive.
Oh, FNG.
Yeah, otherwise, because they're just going to lose members, right? FNG's just going to be chased down by Sumail.
Oh, nice Jukes. Is he going to get away with this? Oh, he is. Well, that was an incredibly close one there for FNG. And an important one as well. Look at his gold. He's only a few hundred away from the Blink Dagger, so it's a good job that FNG was able to save himself down the bat.
Yep, they have to get this Blink Dagger, start going for smokings with him, the 2 supports, maybe even include a Slardar. Just create active space for the Alchemist to continue to farm away. Because it looks like he may still be going, he's not going to go to the Miracle style build that we saw before, really tanky. I think he's still going a Radiance for this game and playing in a bit more traditional Alchemist.
Absolutely, but I think, as you said earlier, this is the issue that the Auk is behind in farm compared to both Aoi, Sven, and Sumail's Invoker. I mean, 13 minutes in, if all things are going to plan for the Auk, you're hoping to be at least a couple of thousand ahead, let alone behind the enemy cores.
Yeah, I think you want like a 5k cushion most of the time ahead of, like, say, an Alchemist. Sven is still a good farmer, but the fact that AUI is neck and neck with the Alchemist, that's okay. The fact that Sumail is right with them, because of the fact he was able to win his lane, get the fast Animitis, and now is getting pickoffs around the map from time to time, that is much more concerning. You can't have 2 cores on the side of EG keeping pace with this fast farmer in G. So they got to be trying to be a little bit more active and try and get some pickoffs while at the same time G is farming away in order for them to grow a net worth gap big enough that they can actually feel confident going into the mid game. Because right now Evil Geniuses are controlling some things, but then again, we've said the same kind of thing from game number 1. We saw the way that turned out. Virtus.Pro, they hit big time mid-game.
They hit PPD here, but of course he's got the ult. He'll take that one off, and EG they're in the full force to try and fight this one. Storm Ammon's FNG on the sidelines, Bulba getting hexed up, but again, the Aphotic Shield to remove the stun. He's ready to go back in, gets the roar off onto G, and in moves out. Fiend Script as well down. Nice side step from out to avoid the Earth Spike. They've killed the Alchemist. EG losing nothing at the moment. And VP, well, they've got to get themselves out with an out down. They really do not want to be sticking around here. And EG, they'll move on to the tier 2. Just have a good shot at taking this one. And at 40 minutes in this game, really is starting to look a little bit rocky for VP's lineup.
Yeah, it's tough to read these movements from Evil Geniuses if you're just looking from Virtus.Pro sides of thing. They don't have the greatest aggressive vision. Most of it's like really defensive on their side. And most of the lanes are pushing as well.
And just this setup and follow through from EG. Every time it's going to hit. Lion taken down, a lower dance off for 30 seconds. This is, yeah, VP, they need to come up with a plan. I mean, what is the plan for VP? Can they smoke and go? I mean, they've got the 2 big jumps. You know, the Batrider, Slardar, Yoku, he is nearly at his Blink Dagger. Maybe that's going to be the kind of point of call before they try and go for aggressive plays themselves. But at the moment, EG are turning up the pressure, and it just feels like VP aren't able to keep up.
Yeah, essentially the laning phase worked in a way that Evil Geniuses were able to get so much on their cores, especially their side lane heroes, that they're now able to spend some time grouping up and just going for a full 5-man team fight.
FNG, that was a very, very bold jump in. Fear coming in as well with the Nightmare, holding the bat in place. And yeah, God's Dragon from Raw. FNG's just getting absolutely destroyed here. EG, they'll move on to the tier 2 on the bottom lane, find themselves another tower.
The second time that FNG has jumped in that it's been super questionable. Last time he grabs an Abaddon in the middle lane. Now, obviously, he wasn't expecting Evil Geniuses to be fully behind him, but it's still an Abaddon that was level 6. This time around, he makes some sort of go to be able to defend the tier 2 tower, get Firefly in front of it, but he's not fast enough, and he ends up getting caught in the process. Those pickoffs just start snowballing so heavily against a hero like Sven. They easily can do Roshan whatever they want. You're going to see Necronomicon 3 coming in pretty quick for Bulba, and that's like the peak for a Beastmaster, right? Is when he has Blink Dagger and Necrobook 3, he can like one-shot so many heroes on the side of VP for free. So they're just getting this bigger and bigger growth where Evil Geniuses with this Aegis can take the rest of the tier 2, and then they can start spreading themselves out, knowing that they have a lot of solo kill power between Sumail and Bulba, and then VP are going to be in this spot where they're like using some smokes, like some 5-man smokes to try and get a little bit of control back, but you have to get kind of lucky in some ways when you're at that point in the game where you're like just trying to go for full-on surprise smoke ganks and see if it actually works. If Evil Geniuses get the right reads on the game and understand when your opportunities are going to be had, then they sit passive at the right times, and Evil Geniuses will actually get a really big farm advantage over you just due to map control. Even if you have the Alchemist, it's still the Sven who's a very efficient farmer and superior map control.
Absolutely, and are we now with the pickup of the Blink Dagger? It's going to be even harder for VP to fight into the side of EG. They've got their own jump back in. I mean, Yoku, they're smoked up with the gang, wanting to utilize kind of the reveal of this Slardars Blink Dagger to its max potential, but EG, they're not in the neighborhood. They're all towards the mid lane. So VP, unlikely to find anything with this initial smoke. And with the pings out, they'll start to move towards the mid lane, but again, it's just going to be so hard to jump into EG's lineup. I mean, in an ideal situation, who are you jumping in onto first if you're VP?
I mean, you would love to be able to grab like the Invoker or Beastmaster and pull them so far out that the Abaddon can't actually get the Aphotic Shield and you blow up that core, because those are two of the most disruptive heroes, and then you just try and kite the Sven around because he doesn't have Blink Dagger yet, right? So he's a relatively easy hero as long as the disables aren't on the field for Evil Geniuses. That's the plan, but unfortunately VP, they had the right idea. They went for the kind of like 3 or 4 man rotation from VP while G was, you know, farming away, but Evil Geniuses kind of had the read. The ideal scenario for VP is that they get the pick off in the Radiant jungle, they take the tier 1 tower bottom, and they gain some semblance of control of an area that they know they're limiting Evil Geniuses farm-wise. But that doesn't happen. EG just spend all their time inside the Dire jungle because they know how dangerous the Radiant jungle is at this point in time, very exposed to invasions. And they stay grouped up and make sure they don't give away any free pickoffs.
EG now with the smoke. I may catch out No Fear. He may be the one to tank the gank, and indeed straight on the Venge. No Fear. He's not going to receive any kind of help it as he decided to EG and some out. Pick off that one. The rest of VP already scattering back to base and back down to the south.
You see how casually they run into that hero kill? And half of Evil Geniuses, despite being right there, don't even attempt for it. They're just like, yeah, you guys got it. We're going to look for the extra kill. You know, they start spreading into the secret shop, seeing if they could cut someone off that's rotating from the bottom lane back to base. It's just like, they feel so confident that they can win team fights, and when they run into a one hero like that, they're just like, yeah, we win the fight no matter what. Let's find more.
Talking about finding more. EG looking for the top lane, pick off, they get the Nightmare onto G. Yoku will jump back in. Look at the stun, Alardos lines it up. Kachi is out, Bulba, but the Aphotic Shield blocking a lot of this. G falling low here, the Fiend's Grip, but the Lasso onto Samel gets the Tornado out. He will still go down. They've actually lost 2 here, EG. Aoi moving in, looking for the cleanup with the God Strength. Finds G, takes down Alardos, double kill for the Sven. It's a 2 for 3 at the moment. The question is, EG, they're going to keep Aoi around looking for more. He's sticking about it. BP on the sidelines. Yoku may want to jump back in. He's eyeing up the Sven, but on the side, PPD's caught him out. PPD trying to draw the attention away and allowing Aoi to find a triple kill. He's coming back down, Aoi. He's not done. He's lost the God Strength, but he may be in fighting shape to look for more here with the Echo Saber Storm to Yoku. Jumping forward, he's got a Storm Hammer. Aoi, he should have a good chance of finding himself another, and he will. Ultra kill for Aoi on the Sven, as EG, even though they lose 3 there, are certainly the ones to clean up, and suddenly Aoi has 4.2k gold in the bank.
I was rather confused by that fight because at first it looked so good for EG, right? It was like, okay, VP just initiated on the Beastmaster and Aphotic Shield and the heals is allowing Beastmaster not even get close to dying. But then the Batrider actually finds the initiation onto Samael and he's already at half HP just due to some like random damage, Alchemist acid spray and stuff. They get that kill and the fight actually looks good. It's like, oh man, they killed Samael, there goes the disruption. They're kiting around the Sven, and then it was 3 for 2, right? VP still had 3 different heroes up, and they'd killed 3 on the side of Evil Geniuses, but it's AUI. AUI is super farmed. He has his Blink Dagger now, so it's not that easy of a hero to just be able to kite around once the fire flies down from the Batrider, and he's not able to keep up that sticky napalm, so then AUI just runs through heroes. Batrider, he ends up getting the kill on Yoku, and the fight looks good again. The problem still is FNG and the boys, they, again, the right idea, which is going for that sort of fight, they need some sort of, like, just really good initiation, so they go for the smoke, try and defend the tier 2. I think that's the right play. I don't think you can sit on your laurels, but Evil Geniuses are just a bit too far ahead.
And talking about being fired, this is just terrifying. Now, Aoi now has the AC complete for the next push. We're seeing a Sven that is more than 3k gold ahead of an Alchemist. I mean, G, farm just hasn't been there. He cannot afford to be this far behind the enemy carry at 21 minutes in. He does have that radiance. Maybe if they can keep the game just indefinitely going on, there will be the chance for the Alchemist to get back on top, but it's really not looking great for VP at the moment.
Yeah, that timing's like, okay, you've got Octarine, Manta on Alchemist, you've drawn out the game to like 60 minutes, but I think Evil Genius's biggest timing is going to be like, I would say like 40 minutes, but it almost feels like 30 with the way that AUI is farming so efficiently, and that's always been the strength of AUI, right? Like back in the day when he was the carry, he was always known for his farm efficiency and how he was able to just get absurd amounts thanks to just a little bit of space from his allies.
Look at this Hawk, of course, from Bob, just doing so much work here. They know exactly what's going on. G and No Fear hanging around, and EG, they're not wanting to jump in on that. Keeping them safe out of harm's way to the side. VP being a little bit more aggressive, coming out with a full 4 on the bottom lane, but EG, they're out of there. Heading to the jungle, look to take what they can from the side of VP. Clearly, they'll look to find someone hanging around, but it's not going to be the case. Samel's got the Aghanims done. I mean, there's just a lot of big items now on the side of EG and VP. They're still well and truly searching for theirs.
Doesn't look like the smoke. Okay, never mind.
With Yoku jumping in, EG will take that. They will certainly take that one. Yoku out of mana. The Roar's down. Nice swap for No Fear, but No Fear will pay with his life. Fiend Strip and Stormhammer to the face. The Venge is gone. Does manage to save Yoku though, so of course, making the best of a bad situation there, the side of VP.
Just as I was about to say, doesn't look like the smoke's gonna work out. Yoko's like, no, I can blink, crush, and then run back. No, Evil Geniuses are ready for that. Instantly pounced, and if he had actually gone down, that could have been Evil Geniuses going high ground. It was good play. They sacrificed the Vengeful Spirit for a core like that, but these little openings from Evil Geniuses, they're always going to push it.
He's found G here, G. And has got the Chemical Rage, and with that regen, it's going to be enough to force him out to back off. At least wait until the backup's there. And EG now have the full team around. There. They're going onto low hard dance. Playing a bit scared. Actually, Owie's not jumped. Some of the Stormhammer. Owie, does he want to have a go on this one? VP disengaging nicely, getting themselves back up to the high ground. We're just seeing how scary it is for VP to just even think about leaving the base. I mean, G's on the top lane, finding a bit of space, but the rest of the side, they're all standing on the high ground. They're terrified of EG at this point.
Yeah, the best they can do is have G out somewhere off map, preferably, farming either like hard left side of the Dire jungle or even somehow sneaking his way into Radiant jungle. But the options just really aren't there because VP struggled too much in the laning phase, didn't get any control, and as a result didn't claim a single tier 1 tower. So Evil Geniuses, they just like have like this whole entire area, it's all theirs, and it's going to get even worse once they get the tier 2. They get another Aegis into their hands. Virtus.Pro, they have to have some sort of perfect team fight initiation, and I just don't see that happening. And that actually leads me into some of the thoughts about VP. I feel like this team plays best when G is actually playing some sort of tempo controller, because I don't think that FNG and Yoku, if they're going to be playing more of the aggressive style, I don't think they're reliable enough. I don't think FNG especially is reliable enough. He played well last game with the Aghanims and him being able to continue to farm up and such, and he was the big reason they won that game. But I always feel so much more comfortable watching a VP game if G is the one setting the pace of the game by 15 minutes.
Yeah, we just haven't seen the bat being able to do that much. We've seen last surge, but very rarely have there been some of the VPs managed to follow up for a clean kill. Each and every time he's having, he's trying to jump in onto EG, and FNG's just been caught out by the lineup of EG. They're never alone. They've always got someone backing someone else up. It's been a hard game for the bat, and Yoku, as well as you said, he certainly started well in the farm game. He's only been picked off the once, but at the same time, he's struggling to find as many of those pickups as he would like. He is 2-1-4. It's still a good performance from the Slardar, but it's just the fact you look up to EG, Owie, 505, hitting onto 17,000 net worth. It's just hard to compare these two safe laners. There's such a big difference.
Again, we talked about it in the beginning of the game, right? It was kind of a simple plan. It was very easy to read from VP, which was, okay, this 4-man, once the laning phase is over, it's going to be this sort of like 4-man where they're going to go for pickoffs constantly. But in order to get the proper movement around the map in the first place for you to be able to get pickoffs like this. You have to actually take the tier 1 towers. You have to be able to push creep waves deep into the side of Evil Geniuses and force them to split apart. Because that never happened, Evil Geniuses make the read. They're like, okay, in order to get back into this game, they have to go just straight up pickoffs, so let's aggressively 5-man into them and see what happens. And that's why the Batrider really wasn't useful, and he might not be useful here. Good force staff.
Absolutely, just taking G out of the fight. Boba was there with the leading on the Raw, but nice play here from VP, just keeping G out of harm's way. You need to keep this Alchemist alive, make sure that G constantly is finding that gold gain. As just the difference between him and Al, he just continues to spiral out of control in favor of this Sven.
All right, last tier 2 down. Evil Geniuses still have an Aegis. Is there any items that they could be waiting on? Looks like
Boba's just got the Necro 3 coming out in the courier, so.
Okay, Necro 3, maybe they wait on the Lincolns for the Invoker. That's like, I think, the best target for the Batrider to initiate on, but if he has Lincolns, that's kind of mute.
Bottom, no fear. They've found him out here, Sabel, and Fear himself. Oh, nice little swap. I mean, no fear's certainly making them work for it, but they will still find it.
It's ultimately all you could do, right?
Oh, yeah.
Space created, guys. It's created.
Samel picks up himself another kill on the Evoker. At the same time, look, the 3 members of EG, they're ready to look to fight on their own here. They do not need the Bane and the Invoker to achieve these kind of pickoffs that they're looking for. And towards the top, FNG hiding in the trees. Ooh, Boba starts to chop them down. FNG's able to blink himself away. Now, Aloha Dance, he has now found that blink dagger on the Lion. Maybe we can see him find some key jump-ins in these fights. You know, you look towards heroes like Samel, but Samel actually, he's very close to having that Lincoln Sphere, and then it's going to be a lot harder for that Lion to deal with this Invoker on the back lines.
Yeah, you're in that awkward position where now FNG has to like blink and aggressively force staff Samel as soon as the Lincolns is up in order to get the lasso on him, and that's hardly not even worth it, right? Because then you're so slow at pulling him back that there's probably an aphotic shield that comes in. Initiation, it's just like the toughest, this is the toughest Batrider game you'll probably see. There's no real good weak points.
He's going to try for it though, dragging Aoi in, but Aoi, he has got that Aegis, and that's the thing, if he managed to get them once, maybe with the crush under the tower, they can have a good shot at him. Aoi, he's got the war cry up, he'll run, he'll actually throw back the Stormhammer with the shield. Aoi, living for the time being, actually gets himself out as well. I mean, we see they drag him back behind the tier 3 all the way to the tier 4s, and they just still can't kill this Sven with a full 5-man beating down on him.
Yeah, they bring him back the second time with the swap too, and it still doesn't matter because PPD, he's there, he gives him the aphotic shield, and even if they do manage to kill him, it would probably not be enough, right? Because then he would have the Aegis, he would come back, they would have to kill him like deep under tier 4s the first time around, just to have a chance and a go at it in round 2.
Yoku coming in with a crush, the pulse of fortification here, VP, Boba looking for the Raw, can't quite get it off onto lower dance in time, but EG still with the space here to hit off the right G, gold snaps out Raw, Beam's good to follow through as well, this Alchemist in a whole world of trouble, he'll pop the BKB, but oh, he still goes down, they find G, down for 56 seconds, Aoi's still surviving. He'll move back and now will look to back himself out of the base. EG again with just clean, controlled play here in the mid lane. They get the objective, they get the kill, and they get everyone out as well intact, with the Aegis still standing on Aoi on his Sven.
Yeah, the Virtus.Pro knew this timing was coming up. They got the double BKBs at just an attempt. Like, BKB is one of those big boosts in team fights, right? When you see a team, they pick up like 2 BKBs, it's like, oh, okay, the momentum should be in their favor now. But that's usually when the game is even. At this point, like Virtus.Pro, they got double BKBs just to try and survive through a high ground push of Evil Geniuses, and it's not even close. They still lose that fight very handedly. They lost their melee racks before the 30-minute marker, and now Evil Geniuses back up. They play even more of a control game because now the middle lane constantly pushes forward, so they don't even have to use a hero to keep the lane push there. They're always going to get some free information out of that. They're going to farm efficiently, and they could even wait, if they wanted to, for a second Aegis.
Talking about having an effective second Aegis as well. Aoi's nearly got the Satanic done. Just waiting on that, the recipe, and that will be well on its way here to the man. Actually, wait, sorry, because he's going for heart, isn't he? Instead,
yeah,
heart and Satanic. Yeah?
You know, just because of efficiency, it's really natural for casters to see like, oh, Helmet Dominator, yeah, he's going to go Satanic. And I've done that so many times, but I have finally learned my lesson.
So
Sven doesn't do that anymore. He's just like, no, like heart is its bigger strength, so it's a huge, like, raw stats, right? Like, raw strength is even better for a hero that is able to up his damage by 200%.
What does he swap out for it?
Right?
What's he getting rid of?
I think you can just get rid of the Helmet Dominator. We saw that the last time that Sven had a helmet dom and then the last item was heart. I mean, you've got tons of HP, you've got tons of armor, you're going to have some regeneration, so unless they can somehow focus you down in one go, you're still going to get some HP back.
Oh, if they can get Samael here, that will be nice. With the dust, they're going to certainly have a good shot at it. Samael was looking for a bit of a solo push and he gets taken down.
All right, VP, that was your freebie. What are you going to be able to do with it? Because you can't just go like, all right, we got the Invoker, 60 seconds of farm time. It doesn't work like that, not when you're this far behind. You have to start taking the numbers advantage that you know you have and push it for more. See if you can get another pickoff and make this window not 1 minute, but 2 minutes, and maybe a third pickoff, 3 minutes of farming time, and maybe a small comeback can be had.
Looking for exactly that. Eyeing up to PPD. The Nightmare will be taken off Yoku. Is he going to jump up onto Fear on the high ground? Nah. A little bit too risky by the looks of it for the boys on VP. They'll hide back. No one needs to overextend at the moment, and just like they are going to have a struggle trying to find more on top of that Invoker kill. They're still going to move in towards that mid. FNG. Let's put the lasso up. If he's able to catch anyone, jumping in, grabs PPD, but straight away with the ult to take it off. Owie coming back hard. The swap just in time, but no fear will pay of his life. FNG, they've got to run. The damage on this Ven is absolutely unreal. TP that will be successful. So again, just a noble sacrifice for a no fear, allowing the full lineup of VP to get themselves back to safety.
I feel kind of bad saying this just for no fear's sake, but it's kind of worth trading a Vengeful Spirit just for a charge on that BKB of AUI, because you know that, well, you hope at least that they're not going to be able to push for 50 seconds, that they're going to wait on the cooldown, but maybe that's not the case. I mean, how do you kill? How do you kill him, Owen? He's sitting right now on a casual 27 armor. He hasn't even popped Warcry, which is an additional 20. He's almost got 4k HP. Like, who the hell needs lifesteal when you are in tank that's impossible to penetrate the first time around, you know?
It's already been looking pretty scary here for VP, but yeah, as you said, you just look at the Sven and you really wonder what VP's plan is going to be here on this high ground defense. Here we go, moving in now, he's going to frontline it. Let's see what they can actually do. Can they actually even dent this health bar? That's the question. And Howie, they'll walk it off. Regen will tick in, he's back to full health. This is looking to be at a point of the game where VP maybe a little bit too late to have answers with how to deal with Aui's Sven, as it is well and truly out of control.
I mean, AUI is a Terminator, and how do they deal with Terminators? They run away from them usually. Well, you've got no more room to run. VP have already sacrificed so many of their tier 2s, and now they're actually going to initiate on Aloha Dam.
Again, really nice Sunstrike, giving the vision to jump in. The swap will be there. FNG now jumping in. Grabs Bulba, brings him onto the back lines. They will be able to find the Beastmaster from the low ground. The Fiend Strip onto Yoku. PPD comes in with the close down as Aoi starts to chop away. And then with the BKB up to go towards the tower, Aoi sneaking himself back in with that blink, and still got that God Strength up, but well, again, at the least, it is just a 1-for-1. Not too much achieved with the God Strength until now. Aoi looking for G. 1-2, getting forced back. It's going to be enough. G just able to get himself back to safety. There's actually a buyback from Yoku, wanting to return to the fight here. VP, can they actually punish anyone on the sidelines? Yoku, he finds Fear. They'll get it. Take down the Bane. They get themselves anything more. FNG moving in with a Hex onto Aoi, but the question is, do they have the damage? PPD's on the sidelines, looking for the save onto Aoi. Here we go. Laying in with the armor reduction, though, they're actually able to do it, and they'll take it, baby! Aoi goes down! BP holding the base, cost them a buyback, but this is totally worth it, especially if they can find Samael as well, and it looks like they will. BP, they do defend, and they do manage to break through that Sven. What a defense!
And a relatively low cost. And that was all Yoku's read, right? He like didn't have to buy back in that, but he saw the opportunity. He saw Evil Geniuses like, oh, they're a little bit overextended. We can jump this. We can actually get some sort of fight. And then he got the pick on the Bane, and then all of a sudden AY thinks he's going to be able to help out that fight, but that's not the case. He gets kited around. He gets slowly burned down. And now Virtus.Pro, that's a huge opening. It was just like the smallest little thing, right? And they just managed to push through, widen that gap even more to now they have an Aegis in Cheese, and now, I mean, a comeback is actually something you could talk about. Before,
it is possible.
In that fight, you were like, uh-oh, this looks like second lanes of Rax, and it's really hard to come back from 2 lanes of Rax against a pushing squad like Sven Beastmaster, because one simple mistake and you've got Megas on your door.
That was absolutely crucial there for VP, and as you said, suddenly looking at G, he is catching up. I mean, still, we've recognized it's not an ideal game for the Out being the same farm as Aui's Sven, but nonetheless, He has closed the gap that Aoi was managing to maintain a fair few thousand net worth lead against him. But this is only good news here for the side of VP, and if they do it again, they can bring that net worth lead back down to closer and closer towards the 0 point. As we saw there, they kind of turn around. You know, we're kind of at a 20k lead. Suddenly, it's only going to be a 10k. You know, do that again, and things are starting to look up for VP if they can continue these plays and these defenses.
Yeah, these pushes are going to be a lot more difficult to sustain now that you've got the Manta style. If you can complete, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to. He actually picks up a plate mail. He obviously needs some armor, and is going to have to probably go an AC just to boost himself up against the Sven's burst damage. It's just so much physical damage. He's got to address that. It would have been nice to have that early, like, Manta Octarine, and that you would just spam out illusions and try and keep EG from going high ground that way, but that's just not the case anymore, so.
It really was impressive just at how VP were able to kill her in that last fight. You know, just it looked like, you know, with the numbers considered, the amount of health, the amount of armor, it was questionable how they would do it, but at the end of the day, with the full 5-man lockdown and the amount of armor reduction that their lineup does possess, was enough. We can see a smoke from EG now. Let's see what it's able to achieve. So they move across the river and, well, see what the plan is from the boys in blue. Aoi and Boba leading the charge. As VP actually going to be the ones to push out lane on the top. FNG positioning himself, maybe seeing if anyone comes out to farm. It's EG smoking up. And eyes are going towards the jungle here. And at the moment, they won't find anyone on the side of VP unless they're able to make a full wrap around to the west, but the smoke will time out. They'll just be able to get a bit of warding down here, and nothing else for the time. Maybe Yoku, though, if he walks into this one. Nope, sees the Sven, he's off.
Sees AOI right in the other direction. He's just like, nope. VP, the way they're setting up, though, for some sort of pick opportunity at the top lane, right idea. They only had like boots of travels on some of their heroes. They could play this even better. G's got one, but you would need like a boots of travel on FNG too. Then you can have like these sort of scenario where one hero sits atop like the lion on one of these tree areas, and they could have some sort of potential play. But now they're gonna have to go for a 5-man smoke of their own. They know Evil Geniuses might feel confident about splitting up a little bit.
This could well. I mean, the full 5-man of EG are going to be around the corner. Who can they get the jump onto first? Straight away with the crush that lands and follow through. Aoi gets the body shield onto BKB as well. Now he turns. Look at Yoku. G moving in, focusing through on the backlines. Boba containing the Alchemist with the roar. Now he moves in with the damage from the Manta. G's going to be able to walk himself out. The swap away from Nofir. Nofir sacrifices himself, but they have lost both supports on VP. They're looking for Samel. G with a concoction. Samel getting stunned up by Aoi. He's got a stun as well. Onto Yoku now, jumping in for more. Buyback from Nofir, trying to get himself into the fight again on the Vengeful Spirit. Yoku looking for Samel, but the control onto Yoku with the cold snap. He just can't get the slaps out. The fish is going to be taken down. EG keeping themselves on top of this engagement. FNG gets himself out with the TP from the tree line. This is going to be a hard defense now for VP. They are without that Slardar for 70 seconds. And also Lion as well, down for 20. Try their best though, and we can see from the gold exchange, it is of course EG coming out on top, and a buyback forced out from Nofir, but can they hold EG back on their own? And in fact, and they see some more casualties. He did not have to give it again. Nofir. I mean, this man really giving his life in for the side of VP, and this time actually able to keep himself alive as well. G moving forward now with the TP in from a low hard dance. They may be able to find some kills on the back of this. Eyeing up Fear. G moving in. They'll take out the bank. They get themselves a D more with a finger on Aoi. They might just do it, but Aoi pops the BKB. Still on FNG. Bats down. Now look at GG. He's doing a lot. He may be just able to do enough. Chasing down Aoi. Aoi turns. Looking for the God Strength. Fighting up. They won't be able to make it. G is punching through them all now. Samel has got a triple kill though. G now left alone. The meteor drops down. G, can he fight his way out of this one? He can't. It's an ultra kill for Samel. But again, VP, they are really not making this easy for EG, but it still is a team fight win here for the boys on Radiant. A 1k goal lead is not massive off the back of that one, but Samel really pulling out all the stops here for EG.
I can't believe that AUI just fought back like that. He wants to keep up the pressure. He wants to maybe just like try and close out this game right here, right now. But if somehow Virtus.Pro, which some of their heroes, it's not too long until they're all back up. If they somehow kill AUI in a fight like this, die back, maybe they can get some control back. I thought it was guaranteed over when they started going for that push in top lane, but VPF can.
Oh, here we go though again. Samel looking for the play. G's now out of mana. Yoku's been forced to pop the BKB. I mean, EG We'll be able to find this rack, but the TPs are coming in very aggressively to the side. FNG pops the BKB. He's ready to jump, ready to look for the lasso, but bo3 holds him back with the roar. EG can they go back into this one on low hard dance, looking for the stun. Sumail turning through, but the pass, they'll find it. The lasso as well. G moves in onto Sumail, looking for the invoker. They'll take him down. That's a lot of money going the way of Slardar for Yoku to take down Sumail on the back of that one. But as you said, that did cost some heavy buybacking from EG. That huge investment from Aoi. And VP are still holding on, albeit a melee racks down on the top lane.
I'm at least glad that Evil Geniuses didn't even try and fight that one. Like, as soon as VP started pushing out of the base, the buybacks came in, and they caught Sumail. There was no attempt at a turnaround. Evil Geniuses like, nope, 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 nope. Because, again, that fight goes bad. They lose AEY. Who knows what happens from there, right? Virtus.Pro, it's not going to be like they're in a situation to turn around, surprise, end the game through a push through mid, but it can get some control. They can push out all the lanes with the Alchemist, which is what they're trying to do now. Maybe they could get a few towers, couple of tier 1s, tier 2s. Again, that gold is still on the map, right? If Virtus.Pro have all this potential gold to pick up because they haven't taken a single goddamn tower, and they just might be able to get their first one now at 42.5 minutes in.
This looked to be a game as well. EG were just, storming the fights. VP were falling behind, but VP, they are really giving it their all today, and it is impressive to see. The question is it going to be enough? Down 2 melee racks, ranged racks, of course, in the mid lane as well. That's been gone for a long time. G's doing his best to push out the lanes here with the illusions. Still, just the ever kind of lasting threat of Aoi on this Sven. We've seen if he's able to get a free reign around the fight, it's actually going to be start time for the Aghanims. Who are we going to?
Give it to FNG.
Or
I think No Fear is also a really good Ags hero, and I think there's some argument to be made for either one, but the better control, right, I think, is probably your priority. And if you can get another Ags, pass it over to No Fear, because at that point, No Fear, he's always going to swap, he's always going to probably instantly die from there. But if you can have a second life and maybe able to get some disruption with the magic missile, get off a wave of terror, those things still have some pretty good impact in the team fight. But we'll see. Can they get the double lasso? Oh. EG, they just have to play it slow, right? They wait for their buyback to come up on AEY, they play around Roshan, things like that. There's not a whole lot of pressure on them. Well, it's up to VP to defend every single attempt by Evil Geniuses, and even when they do defend, it's still them being chipped away.
They're going to look for Roshan, and they are going to get it. VP unable to do anything to contest that. But the question here for you, Cap, so FNG, obviously with that Aghanims, if he jumps in, lassos someone next to Sumail's Invoker, is the secondary lasso still blocked by the Lincolns, or will it still grab the Invoker through?
I'm not actually sure on that one. I don't think I've ever seen the Ags with Batrider interact in a secondary fashion with the Lincolns, but
thank you. Our producer lets us know it goes through. All right, that's that in itself. That could be really clutch if he's able to get someone next to Sumail. That's going to be pretty huge indeed.
Somehow grab someone who's next to Sumail, but also not be too close to a Batten who instantly takes the fire shield and removes the lasso. So there's so many, like, the FNG's like, there's going to be one tiny little shot, and in their mind, it even be that one shot of him being able to make a big play here with the lasso.
Yeah.
He's got to be precise.
See how VP want to jump. EG, they are being very tentative with these pushes. They really are respecting the high ground defense of VP. They've felt the wrath of it a couple of times. And they have obviously been able to get away with the objectives, but again, themselves in a bit of a rocky position each time, losing fights like this. Yoku jumps in with a crush. And he's got the Aphotic Shield on FNG, trying to go for that lasso, pops the BKB here, will now move in, but Aoi on the back line. There's your lasso, grabbing Bolt, but trying to pull him back, but they've lost the Batrider. Aoi's moving in for the damage. The bashes are real from Yoku, the finger coming back onto the spec. Can they kill Aoi? Aoi gets forced back. G now moving in, he's looking to try and clean up a VP. There are already 2 heroes down. EG, self-sustained, they're going to be able to move back in for more, and VP, of course, now we're going to have to look for this defense with just the 3 men standing. Yoku, a low hard dance, and Yoku jumps in with the crush. Sumail, gonna with the tornado. Gotta buy the time here, VP, for the rest of their team to come back up. Otherwise, this is going to be very, very hard to hold the base against EG's lineup. And Aoi moves it in. See a low hard dance, desperately trying to do his best. Yoku comes in, crush, not going to catch onto Sumail. There's your Stormhammer, and Aoi moving in with the team onto the Slardar. He tries to get himself back. G with the Manta style, holding back EG, but EG, they're ready to move in. Yoku, that tornado might just be enough here. Can he get himself out with the armlet? No, he can't. Lost the Slardar, but Yoku's got buyback. That's
The
up
Bat
for the
Rider's
ring.
about to come back in 5 seconds too. They have a chance to be able to win this fight.
It's a good crush onto 4 here. In fact, Yoku focusing onto Fear. BKB's been popped by G here, punching into the bait. Yoku backing up with the Raw. Now onto Alchemist G, caught in the middle of it. They should be able to find this. No, G eats the G's and swaps out. No Fear. Gets the swap out. Yoku, can he get himself back to base? Looks like he can. They've lost No Fear again. Sumail hexed up. Sumail healed back in. And now punching into G. The Tornado should finish it. And meanwhile, Aui's just bleeding out. GG. Well played is called. But you certainly can't say that VP, they thought they'd done this to the last there. Really, really tried it. But at the end of the day, EG were far too strong. And that final team fight absolutely crushing VP. But if this is anything to go by, Game 3 should be a good one, Cap.
Yeah, it felt like inevitable by about almost 15 minutes that Evil Geniuses would take this, but it was still impressive the way that VP was able to prolong the game and give themselves just one more opportunity to stomp one more push. Every single